Hi, Professor Kiburi.
Hi.
So, in talking about undergraduate research in sociology, how do you recommend that undergrads get involved in research in this field?
Typically, in a theory-driven university, research university, students will take courses. And if a course material, a body of course material is fascinating or of interest to them, and in my case, hopefully, they feel inspired and they feel that it's something that they have a measure of passion for, they will go to that professor and say, I'm interested in this particular sociological question. And if the person, the student, is able to formulate a really good question, such as how, this is a broad question, of course, but such as how inequality is created and maintained on some variable. We can talk about gender, we can talk about race and class, etc. They are then drawn to that particular field. And if you get a student like that, then you want to mentor them and to help them be even more learned. And since theory is one of the ways in which I am excited about the academic world, I will always direct them to theories, and then we will begin if they want to do research with me.
And what type of tasks do students do when it comes to research? How independent are they?
Basically, they're pretty independent. So I try to see and remember and track the students' work when in the course that they have taken from me previously. And we set up a timeline. Usually we meet every other week. So that's time that that student has a way to manage their workload focused in on the very beginning. First of all, they start off with what is a good research question, because sociology is question driven, which is one of the reasons I'm passionate about it. It's a discipline in which we allow ourselves to look at the ways in which we have given students tools to understand the social world and ways in which we failed. And I love that about my discipline. So they're going to start off with the question, and then they're going to do research. They're going to do research with the mindset of starting and completing a really good lit review. And that lit review will be most likely the workings of 1 quarter, sometimes 2 quarters with me. And that idea then is to give them the foundation so they can find out where what they're interested in has been done well, and where there are holes and it needs to be filled by their research to add to the field.
So the research that you focus on and that your students focus on would be more experience qualitative driven than quantitative.
Absolutely.
And polls.
That is why I wanted to come to UC Davis to do my graduate work. Lynn and John Laughlin literally wrote the book on qualitative analysis. And when I came in the program in 1987, that was the focus of this department. It has changed considerably now. It's much more qualitative, but they were amazing. And you will often go to a university when you have done your research and found the people who have the greatest body of knowledge on what it is you're interested in. And qualitative research is absolutely at the heart of my passion.
Are there any skills you look for in a student or experience that you want them to have before you take them on as for research?
Absolutely. I talk with them and I say, this is an important and a big decision. It's going to be time consuming. You're going to have to dedicate quite a bit of your life's energy to it. And it can be in steps. So, you do your lit review, and then you may decide to continue on and do an article. And if the article is well crafted and really rooted with vigorous and yet interesting research data that draws you in and makes this an exciting undertaking for you, then that's important. So I want someone that's really able to work on a project that could be ongoing And even though it's ongoing, there are stages. So you've got to be good at time management. Again, I want to see at least the elemental, the foundational parts of having some passion, because that's going to keep you well fueled. Person has to feel as though what it is that they're doing in their life, in their research, is going to inform them and make them a better academic as well. So my focus is on people who are willing to say, I want to learn, and then I want to start applying this in my own personal life. And that helps because I know if they get hooked on understanding, because that's what theory does. It explains, it describes, sometimes it predicts, and sometimes it's an exploration. So grounded theory is an exploration, and I go over the different forms of theories, and we look at the data and look at the lit review at the very beginning, and I say, is this what you really think you want to do? And if they sign on, then we're a team.
Do you think that research experience in during the undergrad years is important to find a job in sociology afterwards?
I do. I really do. And sociology is a foundation that can lead to so many different fields. If you are an undergrad as a sociologist, you can make a phenomenal law student, right? You can do wonderful things in social policy. You can do great things in education. So to me, it opens up a huge world of ways in which you can do fulfilling work. And for me, teaching is my passion. So I enjoy teaching and tutoring and allowing students to blossom to see how that will help them. And in terms of a job, if you're able to make your deadlines, if you're able to time manage, if you're able to find an interest in people, because remember, sociology, two people are a group. Mm-hmm. And we like to look on a micro level when we're talking about small groups of people, and then we want to look at the global institutional level and a macro way. And that interplay is exciting. So yes, you can say that this will lead to internships. You can become an intern. You can travel and do research there. I'm helping this young man who's an honors student, and he wants to go to London to do some more research while he's fulfilling his requirements for his undergraduate degree, and it's going to set the foundation for his graduate work. So anywhere you go, you can study people, and sociology is absolutely magnificent in that way.
Do you have any advice for a lot of social science students? I think feel a little overwhelmed by the fact that, in the physical and biological sciences, you have a lab that you can go to, and apply to, whereas it's a lot more personal going to a professor and saying, I'd like to work with you, mm-hmm. and risking that, you might get turned down. Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for, overcoming these hurdles and, really getting into what they love?
Absolutely. And one of the reasons that I enjoy reentry students who have had life experience is because they come to this university, they come to me, and I always let them know that I came to the academy later in life. I had several lifetimes before, and a huge family. So it took me a while to get to my goal, and my goal was to get a PhD. Well, I had that goal that I set at the age of 12. And it was many years later before I came to school. But what's more important is that people who are older understand that the world, the universe, the community, the environment is your lab in sociology, in qualitative sociology. That is your lab work. And it's lab work that will give you the ability to develop, learn, and utilize. It's applied sociology in their personal life. It gives them tools and a toolkit that gives them so much of an enhancement as to who they are in terms of identity, who they are in terms of the situation of how power in institutions is structured to influence them, and how change is a part of the ability for them. Re-socialization. Sociology offers that as the greatest gift. So yes, I always want to offer that and say it's different, but it's so rewarding. And I think my own enthusiasm, my own examples in my life, which I freely offer to my students as we process together, particularly when I'm teaching courses in valuing multiculturalism. That is absolutely essential for you to have not only the didactic, that is the learning, educational, theoretical part of sociology, but also the experiential. How does it feel and play out in my life? And with dialogue group discussions, you get that component too. It's an extraordinary series of courses and very different from most experiences. Most of all, it is living proof that the principles of community can be learned, applied, and lived. So I teach the principles of community in my courses.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add as advice for students?
Yes, I would like to say that valuing a multicultural perspective is just one of the best ways you can succeed at any institution, whether it be a research institution or one in which is focused more on liberal arts. All of that is a way of opening up the world, a way of learning and understanding and appreciate your own value and the ways that you can contribute. And in my case, opening up the paradigm of a social change, social justice agent. And I do my best to really promote that. And it's my life work. So I love it, and I try to be infectious with the students so that they will love it and we will enjoy the research process together.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.